ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Very good morning to all. In previous classes, we came across so many important and interesting concepts. But here the important note is, each and every concept is related to the molecular atmosphere. What is molecular atmosphere? Number one, central atom. Means, before going to study about a molecule, first we should identify the central atom. And second, what are bonded atoms? Third one, what are the bonds present between the central atom and bonded atom? Means, what are the bonds present in the molecule? What is the geometry? What is the bond energy? What is the bond length? What is the bond angle? Okay. Based on all these features of geometry, bond angle, bond energy, bond length, we can evaluate, we can understand the stability of the molecule, whether that is stable or unstable, whether that is existed or not. For that, up to now, we are seriously concentrated on the determination of geometry mostly. In order to evaluate the stability, there are three important parameters related to the bond particularly. What are they? Bond energy, bond length, bond angle. Bond energy, bond length, bond angle. What about the important features of bond energy, and what about the bond length, and what about the bond angle? That we have to discuss in this class. Okay. Here the first one is bond energy, and in most of the cases this is also known as bond enthalpy. Bond enthalpy. How can you define or how can you understand the word bond enthalpy or bond energy? And here, this bond energy is also generally referred as bond dissociation energy. And in most of the cases, here the bond dissociation energy is endothermic. But bond enthalpy delta H B may be positive, or we can consider that as a negative. Means that may be considered as endothermic or exothermic. How can you say that is expressed in terms of negative values? Very simple. At very beginning of the chemical bond, or at very beginning of the chapter chemical bond, I have given an important statement. What is that? The formation of bond is an exothermic process. If the bond enthalpy is expressed with negative value, means that is formation. But in some cases, during the numericals, we can consider that as endothermic also. When the delta H value or bond enthalpy is given in terms of, or given in terms of positive value, then you have to understand that is bond dissociation energy. Okay, right. But how can you define bond energy or bond dissociation energy? Very simple. The amount of energy required for the breaking of 1 mole of covalent bonds the amount of energy required for the breaking of 1 mole of covalent bonds in a gaseous diatomic molecule is known as bond dissociation energy. If that is expressed in terms of delta H with a negative value, then that is generally referred as bond energy. I am repeating once again. The amount of energy required for the breaking of 1 mole of covalent bonds in a gaseous diatomic molecule is known as bond dissociation energy. But here bond dissociation energy is an endothermic process, delta H is equal to positive, or bond enthalpy, delta H is equal to positive. If delta H is expressed with a negative value, then that can be represented as bond energy simply. And here this bond energy is expressed in terms of kilojoule per mole and also kilocalories per mole. Here the unit of the bond energy are kilojoule per mole or kilocalories per mole. And same time, here the bond energy is also defined as the amount of energy released or liberated during the formation of 1 mole of covalent bonds in a gaseous diatomic molecule is also known as bond energy. That means here the bond enthalpy can be represented with either positive or negative values. But here, based on the notation, you have to understand the significance. This is about the units that are used to express the bond energies. Bond energies. Okay. But how can you calculate bond energy? Here, bond energy can be measured by using Born-Haber cycle. I think you are very familiar with Born-Haber cycle in the topic ionic bond. What about the Born-Haber cycle? Okay, what is the basis for the Born-Haber cycle? Hess law. Bond energies can be calculated by using Hess law. Here Hess law is the principle involved in the Born-Haber cycle. So here the bond energies can be calculated by using Born-Haber cycle. Here the formula minus Q is equal to S plus D by 2 plus IP minus electron affinity minus lattice energy. Here what is D? Here D is equal to bond dissociation energy. Bond dissociation energy. Okay. What about the relations? Here bond energy directly proportional to bond order. Bond energy inversely proportional to bond length. Bond energy inversely proportional to internuclear distance. Greater the internuclear distance, smaller is the bond energy. Greater the bond length, lesser is the bond energy. These are the relations you have to understand. And here you have already familiar with the bond length in the topic atomic radius in the chapter periodic table. And next one, what is bond order? Bond order may be defined as, the number of bonds present between two atoms. The number of bonds present between the two atoms. The number of bonds present between the two atoms. That is the bond order. Bond order proportional to bond energy. Greater the bond order, greater will be the bond energy. Bond length inversely proportional to bond energy. And here internuclear distance inversely proportional to bond energy. These are all the relations. Okay. And here totally this concept can be applied in this. This is a hydrogen molecule, gas is hydrogen. In this molecule, the two hydrogen atoms are bonded through a covalent bond. When some amount of energy is supplied, that is near about plus 463.9 kilojoules, then the molecular hydrogen converted into atomic state, Therefore, bond energy of hydrogen is equal to here delta H, that is plus 463.9 kilojoules per mole. That is the energy required for the breaking of 1 mole of covalent bonds in hydrogen molecules which are existed in the gas state. This is about the introduction to the topic bond energy. Okay. But what about the important features of bond energy? What about the important features? Look at the first one. With increase of bond order, means with increase of number of bonds present between the two atoms, bond energy increases. With increase of bond energy, stability increases. Look at here. With increase of bond order means number of bonds present between the two atoms, bond energy increases. With increase of bond energy, stability increases. Right? Example, nitrogen. Nitrogen gas or nitrogen molecule is stable. Why? In nitrogen molecule, the two nitrogen atoms are bonded through a triple bond. Large amount of energy is required to break the triple bond, that is near about 945.6 kilojoule per mole. Here the bond order is equal to 3, automatically bond energy is more, therefore the nitrogen molecule is stable and that is less reactive and chemically inert. Second example, carbon dioxide is also a stable gas. Why? In carbon dioxide, carbon and oxygen atoms are bonded through double bonds. As a result of that, large amount of energy is required for the breaking of the double bond and bond energy is more, automatically that enhances the stability. Here the first point, bond order, already have given the relation. Bond order directly proportional to bond energy directly proportional to stability. With increase of bond order, bond energy increases. With increase of bond energy, here the stability of the molecule increases, reactivity decreases. Examples. Second one, energy required for heterolytic cleavage is greater than that of homolytic cleavage. Energy required for the heterolytic cleavage is greater than that of homolytic cleavage. Okay. Here heterolytic cleavage means what? Unequal sharing of electron pair. Homolytic cleavage means equal sharing of electron pair between the two bonded atoms. Example, let us consider two types of molecules. One is A2. In this molecule, the two atoms are bonded through a covalent bond which contains a bond pair. Here it undergo homolytic cleavage, means this one. Then free radicals are obtained. Okay. The energy required for the homolytic cleavage is minus E1 kilojoules. Here within the same molecule, once again the same electron pair may undergo unequal sharing. That is known as heterolytic cleavage. Unequal sharing of the electron pair is known as heterolytic cleavage. Equal sharing of the electron pair is known as homolytic cleavage. In a homodiatomic molecule, both homolytic and heterolytic cleavage may be take place. And here, then one atom acquires positive charge, another atom acquires negative charge. Okay. Here also some amount of energy is utilized. Endothermic, both are endothermic undoubtedly, because this is dissociation. During the homolytic cleavage, free radicals are produced. You can study about free radicals in the next chapters. And in the heterolytic cleavage, oppositely charged ions are produced. One is anion, another one is cation, but both are endothermic. But here there is an important note. The energy required for the heterolytic cleavage means E2 is greater than E1 in any case. Okay. In case of the molecule AB, this is first example, this is second example. AB, the two atoms are bonded through a covalent bond. First case that undergo homolytic cleavage, and A free radical, B free radical, and E1 kilojoules. Second case, the same bond may undergo unequal sharing, heterolytic cleavage. Heterolytic cleavage. Then A acquires positive charge. Why? It loses electron. B acquires negative charge. It gaining electron. Even though that is also endothermic. In this case also, energy required for the heterolytic cleavage is greater than that of homolytic cleavage. E2 is greater than E1. E2 is greater than E1. What is the statement? Energy required for the heterolytic cleavage is greater than that of homolytic cleavage. This is about the homolytic and heterolytic cleavages in homodiatomic molecule and homolytic and heterolytic cleavages in heterodiatomic molecule. Homolytic means equal sharing of the electron pair between the two bonded atoms. Heterolytic means unequal sharing of the electron pair between the two bonded atoms. Okay. I will give an example. Let us consider ethyl bromide. Let us consider ethyl bromide. C2H5Br. In ethyl bromide, we can observe a CBr bond with a covalent bond. Here it undergo homolytic cleavage, this one. Then CH3, CH2 radical plus Br radicals are produced. The amount of energy absorbed is 268.5 kilojoule per mole. That amount of energy is absorbed, required for the breaking of the CBr bond. Next, within the same molecule, for the heterolytic cleavage of the CBr bond, CH3, CH2 plus Br minus 765 kilojoules. 268, 765. This is homolytic cleavage, this is heterolytic cleavage. So, it is very clear the energy required for the heterolytic cleavage is greater than that of homolytic cleavage. And here the first one, with increase of the bond order, bond energy increases. With increase of bond energy, stability increases. And third point, the compounds which are formed by the elements of same group. In case of the compounds which are formed by the elements of same group, means they are almost of same type of compounds. With increase of the size of the bonded atoms, internuclear distance increases. With increase of internuclear distance, bond energy decreases. Here, in case of the same type of the compound that are formed by the elements of same group, let us consider halogens. What are halogens? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Here halogens react with hydrogen, resulting in the formation of hydroacids, HX. What are they? HF, HCl, HBr and HI. Here hydrogen is common. Only the difference is halogen. These are all the same type of compound that are formed by the elements of same group. As we move from fluorine to iodine, means with increase of atomic number in a group, the internuclear distance increases. Here, this is HF, this is HCl, this is HBr, this is HI. Here atomic number of fluorine 9, chlorine 17, bromine 35, iodine 53 atomic numbers. With increase of atomic numbers, the distance between the two atoms, that is nothing but internuclear distance, increases. Then bond length increases. Automatically bond energy decreases. What about the order of bond energy? The HF bond energy is greater than HCl, greater than HBr, greater than HI. With increase of the size of the bonded atoms, the internuclear distance increases. With increase of internuclear distance, bond length increases. With increase of bond length, bond energy decreases. And in case of the hybrid orbitals, with increase of percentage of p character, the bond energy gradually decreases. The bond energy gradually decreases. Here the fourth one. In case of hybrid orbitals, as percentage of p character increases, size of the hybrid orbital increases. With increase of size of hybrid orbitals, bond length increases. Then automatically bond energy decreases. As percentage of p character increases, size of the orbital increases. Therefore, bond length increases, automatically bond energy decreases. Example, sp3, sp2, sp. What about the percentage of p characters? 75, 66, 50. Therefore, decreasing order of the size, sp3 is bigger than, sp2 is bigger than sp. Right? With increase of the size of the hybrid orbitals, automatically sp3s bond length greater than sp2s, greater than sps. Take for example, this is the sp3 CH bond energy 100 kilojoules per mole, and this is double bond CH, and here this is 85 kilojoules, and this is triple bond SP CH bond, and this is the energy required for the breaking of this bond is near about 68 to 70 kilojoules. With the decrease of the size of the, sorry, there is a mistake. Here, size of the hybrid orbital decreases, therefore, bond length decreases. Bond length decreases. What about the bond length? 1.10 angstrom units. This is 1.08 angstrom units. This is 1.06 angstrom units. This is bond length. Then bond energy is reverse. Bond energy is reverse means here bond energy sp3 CH bond is less than that of CH bond, less than that of triple bond CH bond. This is the order of the bond energy, this is the order of bond length, this is the size of the hybrid orbital. Here all these factors are depending upon the percentage of p character. With increase of percentage of p character, size increases, bond length increases, size increases, bond length increases and bond energy decreases. Here this is the order of the bond length, gradually decreases, and this is the order of the bond energy reverse. Percentage of p character decreases, size decreases, bond length gradually decreases, and next one bond energy increases, reverse. That is the relation between the percentage of p character with the bond energy. Okay. And the next one, in case of the covalent bond, sigma bond is stronger than pi bond. Sigma bond is stronger than pi bond. How can you say? Look at here. Example, C single bond C. This is here the bond energy 347 kilojoule per mole. Next, C double bond C. Here the bond energy 610 kilojoule per mole. Here this is single covalent bond, that is nothing but sigma bond. In double bond, one is sigma bond, another one is pi bond. Here, one sigma bond plus one pi bond is equal to 610 kilojoules. Therefore, what is the bond energy required for the breaking of pi bond? 610 minus 347, that is near about 260 kilojoule per mole. And next one, C triple bond C, bond energy. Here one sigma bond, two pi bonds, 827 kilojoule per mole. There is another statement is also there. Here bond order is equal to 1, here bond order is equal to 2, here bond order is equal to 3. With increase of the bond order, bond energy increases. Therefore, bond energy is the dependent of bond order. Okay. And here sigma bond is stronger than pi bond. In case of hybrid orbitals, as the percentage of p character increases, size increases, therefore bond length increases, automatically bond energy decreases. This is about the some of the important points that are related to bond energy. And there are two other important statements. First one, with increase of number of lone pairs in the valence shell of central atom, in the valence shell of central atom, bond energy decreases. Example, let us consider ethane. In ethane, there are two carbon atoms. Here, number of lone pairs at each carbon atom is equal to 0. Then, bond energy is 7 kilojoule per mole. Okay, now. Next. Second one. This is a hydrazine. In hydrazine, there is a lone pair in the valence shell of each nitrogen atom. And number of lone pairs at each nitrogen atom is equal to 1. Therefore, bond energy is equal to 167 kilojoules. Here 347, here 167. And in case of hydrogen peroxide, at each oxygen atom, there are two lone pairs. Number of lone pairs in the valence shell of each oxygen atom is equal to 2. Here, bond energy is equal to 146 kilojoule per mole. In the first case, number of lone pairs 0. Second case 1. Third case 2. With increase of number of lone pairs in the valence shell of the central atom, bond energy gradually decreases. Bond energy gradually decreases. And finally, we have to discuss about the average bond energy. In some molecules, if more than one same type of bond, in some molecules, if more than one same type of bonds are present, then we can use the word average bond energy. Take for example, here first example, methane. Methane. What about the methane molecule? CH, CH, CH. There are 4 CH bonds. Nothing but 4 sigma CH bonds are there. 4 sigma CH bonds are there. Here the molecule containing more than one same type of bonds. In such cases, we are using the average bond energy. Suppose this is the first bond, this is the second bond, this is the third bond, this is the fourth bond. Totally, the amount of energy required for the breaking of all the 4 sigma bonds, here the energy required is equal to 1667 kilojoules. 1667 kilojoules. The total energy required for the breaking of all the 4 sigma bonds are all the 4 CH bonds. Therefore, average bond energy of methane is equal to 1667 by 4, that is equal to 416, 4 ones, 416.7 kilojoule per mole. I am repeating once again the point. In case of the compound with more than one same type of bonds, in such cases we can use the word average bond energy. But there is an important note. All the 4 bond energies are not identical. Take for example, let us consider this is first bond, this is second bond, this is third bond, this is fourth bond. All are sigma bonds, all are CH bonds, but from bond to bond, the dissociation energy may be varies. Look at here. CH4 gives rise CH3 plus H. CH3 plus H. Here energy E1. Next, CH3 gives rise CH2 radical plus hydrogen, here energy E2. Next, CH2 radical gives rise CH plus H radical, that is equal to minus E3. and CH radical gives rise C plus hydrogen radical minus E4. Minus E4. Here E1, E2, E3 and E4 not equal to each other. All the four sigma CH bond energies are different. In order to avoid the confusion, we are using the word average bond energy. Okay, next, another example, example 2, water molecule. In water molecule, there are two OH bonds. 1, 2. There are two sigma OH bonds. Suppose this is OH bond 1, this is OH bond 2. For the breaking of first OH bond, here OH, okay, minus plus H plus. Here the energy required is 497 kilojoules. And in the second case, OH minus gives rise plus O2 minus plus H plus minus 426 kilojoule per mole. Now what about the bond energy of water molecule? 497 plus 426. (923 by 2), that is equal to 461 kilojoule per mole. This is the bond energy of water molecule. And here this is not bond energy of the total molecule. This is nothing but average bond energy of water molecule. Why? Here each OH bond undergo dissociation with absorption of different amount of energy. So we are using the word average bond energy. In case of the compound that are having more than one same type of bonds, in such cases we can use the word average bond energy. And next one, with increase of number of lone pairs in the valence shell of central atom, bond energy decreases. Sigma bond is stronger than pi bond. With increase of percentage of p character in the hybrid orbitals, the size of the orbital increases, bond length increases, therefore bond energy decreases. Bond energy directly proportional to bond order. Bond energy inversely proportional to bond length. This is about the some of the important features or important characteristics and the information related to bond energy. The second bond parameter is bond length. How can you define bond length? Before going to define bond length, first we should understand the molecular atmosphere and the existence of the covalent bonds. What is the sense of the existence of covalent bond? Here, let us consider a molecule AB. Here I am taking heterodiatomic molecule. You can take A2 also, no problem. AB. In this molecule, the two atoms are bonded through a covalent bond, which consists of a pair of electrons known as bond pair. We know that covalent bond is represented by a dash mark, but in actual practice in molecular atmosphere, that is wrong. A covalent bond existed in the form of a spring between two bonded atoms. How it is possible? How can you say that? Assumed as a spring? Because in any molecule, take for example, suppose there are A, B, 4, A, B, 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 B. This is a molecule. This is the central atom, these are all the bonded atoms. In any molecule, that may be AB, AB2, AB3, AB4, AB5, AB6 or AB7, whatever it may be the molecule. In any molecule, here each and every atom is in the vibrational mode. They are continuously vibrating in their mean positions. As a result of the molecular vibrations, in one case the two atoms are come closer. In another case, they goes as far apart with each other. They go far apart with each other. That is nothing but contraction and expansion. Just like a spring, if you are applying force on both sides of the spring, automatically that undergo elongation, expansion. When you are removing the force on one side, then that comes to the actual state. That is nothing but contraction. In the same way, if a covalent bond is assumed as a spring between the two bonded atoms, then that undergo both contraction and also expansion. Right. Now, here during the molecular vibration, the bond may in the contraction mode, and in another case the same bond may undergo expansion. When a covalent bond is in the expansional mode, here this is the bond length. When it is in the contraction mode, this is the bond length. But how can you measure the bond length in these cases? In case of heterodiatomic molecules, here this is Bl1, this is Bl2. Now the bond length is equal to Bl1 plus Bl2 by 2. Means what? Average. Right? Same thing can be applicable to the homodiatomic molecules also. So, bond length may be defined as the average distance or the equilibrium distance. The average distance or equilibrium distance between the nuclei of the two bonded atoms in a diatomic molecule. In a diatomic molecule. The average or equilibrium distance between the nuclei of the two bonded atoms in a molecule is said to be bond length. This is in case of heterodiatomic molecule. But how can you measure the bond length in case of homodiatomic molecules? Take for example, Ra is the radius of one atom. Ra plus Ra. That is equal to bond length. That is nothing but internuclear distance. But in case of heterodiatomic molecule, if you are familiar with these two Bl1, Bl2, it is very easy. But if you don't know about the Bl1, Bl2, then what we have to do? Then here the distance between AB. Now you have to recall the concept of electronegativity in the chapter periodic table. dAb is equal to radius of atom A plus radius of atom B plus C into XA minus XB. What is XA? XA is equal to electronegativity of atom A. What is XB? Electronegativity of atom B. Based on the electronegativity difference, we can measure the distance between the two atoms, nothing but bond length. What is the formula? dAb is equal to Ra plus Rb plus C into XA minus XB. Here C is equal to constant. For second period element, that is 0.09. For third period element, that is 0.08. For fourth period element, that is 0.07. From period to period, constant value may be varies. And here this is about the concept of or introduction to the bond length. How can you define the word bond length? The average or the equilibrium distance between the nuclei of two atoms in a molecule is said to be bond length. Okay. Here bond length is measured by using spectroscopic studies and also by using X-ray diffraction method. And the unit that are used to express bond length are picometers, nanometers and angstrom units. You are already familiar with the conversions also. You are already familiar with the conversions also. This is about the brief introduction to the concept of bond length. Okay. What about the important features that are related to bond length? What about the important features? Here the first one. The bond length between same two atoms in any substance is same. What is the first point? The bond length between same two atoms in any substance is same. Right. Example. Let us consider water and hydrogen peroxide and alcohol. These are the three different compounds with the same type of bonds. What are they? In water, the type of bonds OH. In hydrogen peroxide, the type of bonds present OH. In alcohol, the type of bonds present is OH. Here, oxygen and hydrogen, same type of atoms, oxygen, hydrogen. The bond length between same two atoms in any substance is same. Here, the OH bond length is equal to 0.97 angstrom units. Same in case of water, same in case of hydrogen peroxide, same in case of alcohols. Whatever it may be. In this case or in this hydrogen peroxide or in alcohol, here the value remains same. Okay. Next one. C2H6, CH4, C3H8. This is ethane. This is methane. This is propane. C4H10. This is butane. In ethane, the CC bond length is equal to 1.54 angstrom units. And in propane, CH3 and CH2. How many CC bonds are there? 1, 2. Here also 1.54 angstrom units. And in butane, CH3, CH2, CH3. Here 1, 2, 3. 3 CC bonds are there. Here all the 3 CC bonds are having same bond length, 1.54 angstrom units. The bond length between same two atoms in any substance is same. Okay. Not only CC bond, let us go for CH bond. CH bond. Here CH bond is equal to 1.10 angstrom units. 1.10 angstrom units. 1.10 angstrom units. That is about the statement 1. What is the statement 1? The bond length between same two atoms in any substance is same. Second one. Bond length inversely related to bond order, inversely related to bond energy. Means what? As the bond order increases, bond length decreases. Take for example, here bond order and bond length. C single bond C, bond order 1. C double bond C, bond order 2. C triple bond C, bond order 3. 1, 2, 3. What is bond order? The number of bonds present between the two atoms is said to be bond order. Here bond order gradually decreases down the group. What about the variation of the bond length? CC bond length 1.54 angstrom units. C double bond C 1.34 angstrom units. C triple bond C 1.20 angstrom units. As the bond order increases, bond length decreases. Bond length decreases. That is the relation. And the third one. As the percentage of p character increases in the hybrid orbitals, as the percentage of p character in the hybrid orbitals, bond length increases. And as percentage of s character increases in the hybrid orbitals, bond length decreases. Here sp3, sp2 and sp. Percentage of p character is equal to 75, 66, 50. Percentage of s character is equal to 25, 33, 50. Here the percentage of p character decreases, here the percentage of s character increases. Now come to the bond length. sp3 bond length is 1.54 angstrom units. sp2 bond length 1.34 angstrom units. sp bond length 1.20 angstrom units. Here sp3 to sp percentage of p character decreases, bond length increases. And here sp3 to sp percentage of s character increases, bond length decreases. Here this is about the relation between the different bond parameters with bond length. Different bond parameters with bond length. But there is an important note. Here, in most of the cases, the bond lengths are affected or influenced by two factors. Two factors can influence the bond lengths. What are the two factors? Here, the first one is the hyperconjugation. First one is hyperconjugation, and the second one is the concept of resonance. These two parameters which can influence the bond lengths. Example, benzene. This is the structure of benzene molecule. In benzene molecule, there are 3 C double bond C bonds. 3 double bonds are there. And there are 3 C single bond Cs. 3 single bond Cs. And here C double bond C is equal to 1.34 angstrom units, already known, discussed. C single bond C is equal to 1.54 angstrom units. Okay. But here, in case of benzene, the CC bond length should be either this one or this one. Either 1.34 or 1.54. Here the CC bond length should be like that, any one of that. But here in case of benzene, that bond length is 1.39 angstrom units, which is intermediate to that of these two. intermediate to that of these two. What is the reason for that? Here the reason is resonance or resonance effect. Resonance effect. Due to resonance effect, here the CC bond lengths are affected. CC bond lengths are affected. Okay. In another case, example 2. Example 2. BF3. Here, boron atomic radius is equal to 0.8 angstrom units. Fluorine atomic radius is equal to 0.72 angstrom units. In BF3 molecule, BF, BF and BF. Here, what about the bond length of each BF bond? Here, 0.8 plus 0.72 is equal to 1.52 angstrom units. Means, here the BF bond length should be 1.52 angstrom units. That is fact. Why? In case of this, or during the calculation of the internuclear distance, in case of the heterodiatomic molecules, we are using a concept that is DAB is equal to RA plus RB plus C into XA minus XB. Okay, based on this, here theoretically, the bond angle, sum of the two atomic radii, here the bond length should be 1.52 angstrom units. But here, experimental verifications, experimental results or verifications reveals that BF bond length in BF3 is 1.35 angstrom units. 1.52 minus 1.35, near about 25, around near about 25. Near about 25. And here 25 means 0.25 angstrom units of the bond length is affected. What is the reason for that? Resonance. What is the reason for that? Resonance. How can you represent the resonance in BF3? Here BF, BF and BF. Here one of the day2 bond is formed between the molecule. Here F1, F2, F3. Next case F2, F3, F1. In the second case, day2 bond is second one. This is F3, this is F1. Here, due to the formation of back bonding in BF3 that is existed in 3 resonance structures. Due to the resonance structures of BF3, here the bond length is affected and finally that is settled to 1.35 angstrom unit. This is about the concept of bond length and also the bond energy.